Am I the asshole for not carrying on my family's tradition? My 18F family has a tradition that goes back 5 generations, and that is the oldest of the family joins the military, only the 4 main branches. My mom was in the Army and retired as a major. My grandpa was in the Air Force and retired as a colonel, I believe. My great-grandpa was in the Navy. My great-great-grandfather was a Marine, and my great-X3-grandfather was also a Marine. My family is very proud of this fact and has been throwing this in my face since I was fresh out the cooter. With the school year coming to an end and I turned 18 last month, my mom has been forcing me to do fitness courses and buying textbooks to help me study for the ASVAB. Now I would have rebelled against this a while ago, but sadly my younger brother passed away a few years ago and it was really hard on my parents, so I've just been going along with this until now. Last week, I overheard my mom talking on the phone to a recruiter talking about my options for possibly becoming an officer. I guess the realization finally hit. I told my mom I'm not joining a few days ago and a huge fight happened. But I basically wasted her time, and she called me a disappointment, but I think I have a right to choose. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I say this as an Army veteran. Stand your ground. Your mother is being wildly unreasonable and you are right to push back on that. Your life is your own. Regarding the time wasting, that was entirely mom's fault for taking so much initiative. She wasted her time, not op. Not the asshole one Amy brat to another, you've already served. All of those nights away and all of the deployments at a young age are enough. You gave the military your childhood. Now you get to live for you. Not the asshole. Better to waste her time than years of your life. It's very sad that your brother passed, but you need to live your life for yourself. I say this as a vet, don't join unless you really want to. Don't let others make you join either. Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. You absolutely have a right to choose your future. Furthermore, the Army is a pretty serious commitment, so you definitely shouldn't be joining just to please your family. Tradition is never a reason to do anything. It has to be accompanied by personal desire to do the thing. Please do not let your family force you into this decision. Not the asshole, it's a tradition simply because people wanted to do it. No one should be forced to join the military. People may downvote this, but F them. The only way to go in as an officer is to go in with a bachelor's degree. Con your mom into giving you a free education while you think about whether you want to join or not. If the family tradition was for the firstborn child to be a dentist, is that fair? If the family tradition is that the firstborn child is a lawyer, is that fair? No. It's not fair for parents to give you a career because you're the firstborn and it's tradition. Do what you want to do. Also, being in the military isn't easy. Moving around a lot, intense training, possible harm or even death, traumatic experiences needing PTSD care. Going into the military is like getting a face tattoo. Make damn sure you want to do it before you do it. Not the asshole. What in the Lieutenant Dan did I just read? Joining the military is huge and should be up to you. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé to get over himself? I'm engaged to my fiancé, Sam, 41, and we're getting married soon. I will say that he was married before and had a 13-year-old son who passed away 4 years ago. Let me tell you, he is still pretty much grieving. Not judging him for that, but his grieving can and will cloud his thinking sometimes. We're currently in the wedding planning phase. He asked that we reserve a chair at the venue for his deceased son. I was dumbfounded when I heard this, but he said that he knows his son will be there for him spiritually and he'd like to reserve a seat for him out of respect and to make him feel included. I tried to be gentle because this seemed insane and told him we can't do that because guests will be asking questions and will think he's mentally unstable. I asked him to let go of this idea, but he offered a compromise by leaving the last chair, in the very back, empty so no one will notice. I felt uneasy and asked him to just let it go, but he kept bringing it up, saying he gets a say since it's his wedding and his son was and will always be family. I had a fight with him telling him it's my wedding too and I don't want people to laugh at us. He said I have nothing to lose if I say yes and that I'm being selfish. I snapped and told him to get over himself and he got quiet suddenly and stopped arguing, then shut down completely. I then heard him sob while he was smoking outside and refused to speak to me, didn't even let me sit with him. He has been like this ever since the fight and has been avoiding me. I could have blown this out of proportion, but I thought his request will weird out many guests and make our wedding a laughingstock. Editing to add that I didn't think that such thing was common. I admit that I should have handled the conversation better, but the guests I was referring to are my male cousin, they're terrible and make fun of everything and take every opportunity to turn an event into a laughingstock. I can't keep them from attending because they're family, but at the same time don't want to give them a chance to hurt Sam's feelings or make rude comments. I love Sam and sympathize with his struggle, but I feel like he's being dismissive of my feelings and thoughts. You are the asshole. A wedding is about both of you. He offered a comprise. You're putting your foot down. Why? What he wants is harmless and also really sweet. Guests will be asking questions and will think he's mentally unstable. I don't want people to laugh at us. So, don't invite Oz to your wedding? I'm sorry, but given how callous you're being, I'd be surprised if there even is a wedding now. You are the asshole unequivocally. A huge gaping one. He lost his child. You don't get over that. You made him sob over a chair. Think about that for a minute. The way you're approaching this is disgusting. You're the one that needs to get over yourself. If I were him, I would be calling the whole wedding off. The disrespect is unreal. You are right about his grief clouding his thinking sometimes. He must have been totally clouded over when he agreed to marry you. You come across as a very cold-hearted, self-obsessed person. You don't deserve him. You are the asshole. You are the asshole leaving a front row seat open at the ceremony and having an in-memory table with some pictures of loved ones you wish could attend at the reception are both very common wedding practices for people who have lost close family members. You are the asshole. No one is going to think he's mentally unstable or insane, that's all in your head. It's quite common to have EMTY chairs for this reason. If you place a photo on the chair, it's clear what you are doing. They are usually in the family section where they belong, not as an afterthought in the back. Interestingly, you felt only your fiancé's age was relevant here. Given you care more about people laughing at you than your fiancé's very valid feelings, perhaps you shouldn't be marrying him. The only clouded judgment here is yours. You are the one who needs to get over yourself and stop caring about what other guests might think. I'd be very surprised if he marries you after this. He deserves better. You are the asshole. A massive one. Couldn't be more of one. He should not only get his empty seat at the very front, but there should be a photo of his son in that seat. He will always be a father, and the fact that you're trying to erase his son from an important day in his life and belittling his feelings is a really big indicator of how the rest of his life with you will be. I hope he sees that before it's too late for him. You are the asshole. That is a beautiful way to have his deceased child still included in the wedding, and everyone who would laugh at that or think him mentally unstable should not be someone you want at your wedding anyway. You are the asshole. Wow. Never seen an easier one on this sub ever. Am I the asshole for telling my brother-in-law he can have an opinion when he starts paying bills? My 35 male, wife's 38 female, brother, Ian, 44 male, lost his job about 6 months ago. When his lease was up in February, he asked if he could stay with us, temporarily. My wife and I agreed he could until he found a job. Things were fine at first, but then he just started giving his opinion on everything. He asked if we could be quieter at night after 10 since we wake him up when we go to bed. It seemed like he was telling us when to go to bed. He makes requests for dinner daily like we're his personal chef. I told him to make himself at home and he's more than welcome to use the kitchen. He said he doesn't know how to cook. He asked us to get a different detergent because ours makes him itchy. I told my wife he can buy his own detergent. He must have some money because he goes out with his buddies on Friday night. I could go on and on about his opinions. Things got worse and Ian acts like this is his house, he's in charge. I was watching TV the other day and he came in the living room and said he wanted to watch the baseball game. I said, "Doesn't the TV in the guest room work?" He said, "Yay, but I like this one better." I kept my show on and he stood there for a few minutes like he expected me to turn my show off, then went back in his room. I have my daughter, 12, this weekend, not my wife's daughter. Yesterday my daughter asked us if her friend could come over today and my wife and I said yes. Her friend was dropped off at like 11. They're basically watching TV, playing video games, not being loud or obnoxious or anything. Well, Ian walked in the living room and asked her friend who she was. Her friend said her name. Ian looked at me and asked to speak in private. We went in my office and he said, "It'd be nice if you cleared it with me before letting some random ass kids come over." I said, "First of all, she's my daughter's friend. Second of all, I don't need your permission, it's our house." He said, "Well, I live here too and I don't want kids I don't know running around." I said, "You live here for free. You can have an opinion when you start paying bills." He went and talked to my wife after our conversation and then left. My wife said, she knows his outspoken nature, gets on my nerves, but it was rude to throw not working, being unable to pay bills in his face like that, and now he feels unwelcome. Honestly, good, he should feel unwelcome, maybe then he'll get a job. Every time I tell him about a place hiring he says, that's beneath me, or, I'm too smart to work there, a job is a job. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your wife is the problem now. It started out as a brother-in-law problem, but once your wife took his side, she became the problem. His refusal to work is not your problem, and now, it seems he's using weaponized incompetence to get his way. Honestly, good for you for not responding to the bit about clearing it with him with, no one cleared you staying here for 4 months rent-free with me, so I guess we're both disappointed in how this turned out, ETA. Got the number of months wrong because I'm tired. Fixed it. Not the asshole. It sounds like he thinks because he's your wife's older brother, he ranks in the hierarchy of your household somehow. Time to throw him the fuck out, dude. Not the asshole, actually kick him out. What an entitled idiot. It's time for Ian to move on. Why would you put up with this in your own home? Let brother-in-law crash with someone else until he finds a job. Tell him exactly why. He came in like he runs the place, and you're not okay with that. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Ian is being extremely rude. You're merely standing up for yourself. It's batshit crazy that he thinks he has any say in your daughter's friends coming over to her house. He needs to understand that he is a guest in her house. As an adult living for free, he should contributing by cooking dinner a couple times a week, cleaning and other household tasks. I think you let things slide for too long. Not the asshole, but I wouldn't have said, when you pay the bills you can have an opinion. I would have said, when it's your own house, home, you can have your own rules. I would let him know he's got X number of days to find a new place or start contributing to the household like a renter. ETA. Yeah, don't let him be a renter. He would be even more awful and demanding, unamused. Obviously not the asshole. What's concerning here is your wife's attitude. She said you were rude? You in the house you pay for that, you let him crash it for free for months now? And he has done nada? You need to sit down with your wife and discuss exactly how long you're prepared to let him stay and what boundaries there will be for the remainder of that stay. I'd make it crystal clear he has zero say in anything to do with your daughter, period. If he has any meal requests, he can cook it or keep it in his own damn mouth. If he wants to watch a show, watch it in the guest room. He has no say on any decisions made in your home because he doesn't contribute to this home, he freeloads here. Hopefully your wife is on board. Because if she's not, then you've got a much harder road ahead. You have a wife and brother-in-law problem. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my day off on Mother's Day to my coworker who lost her kid? I'm 22F, a full-time student working part-time. Last year one of my coworkers who all Linda, 36F, lost her 8Y0 in an accident. We were terribly heartbroken because we had met the kid a bunch of times before since she was a single mother and sometimes had to take him here. As retribution contribution we singed some off our paid days off so she could take some time. She came back 2 months after. I've been working here since I turned 17 and when I was 19 we had a change of boss. She basically made Mother's Day, Christmas and New Year's something we all deserved, and not only the people with kids. She said that if people had kids then we obviously had a mother and we deserved to spend the day with her. However, she made the compromise to send the list of names a month before so people could trade them. Well, aside from some guys, who already gave his day, I'm the only non-mother who has it. My mother's still alive, but I went NC with her a few years ago. Either way I think it'll be nice to have a day off to prepare for my finals. Some of my mom coworkers asked for the day and I politely said no. Well, Linda approached me and said that this will be her first Mother's Day without her son, so she wanted to ask me if I could trade her day with her. Again, I said no and told her how sorry I was. She said thanks and went back to her space. Then, one of the other moms, who already traded her day with one of the guys, said I was an asshole for not giving it to her since I don't even talk to my mom anymore and just for that, I don't deserve it. I asked why didn't she gave her day off and her answer was that she's a mother of 5 inches. Some are agreeing that I should let her have it because she lost her child, but some other, including my boss, said that I'm entitled to keep it and should do it because I'll be using the day for something important too. Linda has been silent since she asked, last Wednesday, and my other coworker is calling me an aw, so I'm not sure. ETA. Someone sent this to one of my coworkers and now 2 of them are sending me awful messages and calling me names. I get that I'm a heartless bitch, I'm sorry. I'll give the day to Linda and study when I get home. I don't know how losing a child feels. I don't even plan on having them. But when I decided to go NC with my mom, I lost the only family I had. I'm also alone and I have to keep my scholarship so I can study and sometimes get 2 jobs and freelance stuff to pay for my place and my own things. If I had another job, I'll put in my 2 weeks notice, but I can't. I hardly take days off because I really need the money. I wasn't even using the day to lay around or rest. I was trading work from work. ETA. You know what? Fuck it. I won't be bullied into doing something that doesn't benefits me. I won't be trading my day off. ETA 3. As someone suggested, I'll add it. Linda can take the day off, it'll be unpaid, but she's allowed to. Linda's day off falls after my finals. Not the asshole. The idea that coworkers should be sacrificing their days off to cover the inequities of the company is straight up fucked up and exploitative. That ain't your concern. It's the employer's. Nah. She asked politely for something you're entitled to and it was your right to refuse. But that's some bad juju you're playing with, kid. You may find yourself in a similar situation one day, and a bit of kindness goes a seriously long way to someone grieving like that. Not the asshole. You were entitled to say no, and you did. No one has any rights over your holiday. But I would question why your company, instead of giving Linda more time off for her loss, instead made other members of staff give up their own days. That saved them money and created a nasty culture where your holiday is not really yours anymore, but up for grabs. That's disgraceful all round. If I were your employer, and aware of Linda's situation, I would have quietly arranged for her to be one of the people to have that day off. That way nobody would have been put in this position. It sounds pretty heartless to just send a list without Linda's name on it and have Linda have to either suck it up or scurry around begging others to swap. People are more than just marks on the roster. This should have been handled better than, oh well. You lost the Mother's Day lottery, so if nobody swaps you'll just have to mourn your recently dead child after office hours. However, your employer's oversight does not obligate you to give up your free day. It would have been so much nicer if you had swapped, but still not the asshole. I absolutely hate this giving of vacation time to others. And why? Because there are always entitled people who think you should give up your time to them because they're more worthy of it. You owe no one your time, but if you ever decide to give it to them like you already did once, it's okay to ask, but it's not okay to then go around telling others that you denied them, as she most definitely did. It's also not up for discussion about who is giving days to who. Your boss needs to get involved in this issue. Not the asshole. Nah. I know 2 people who lost their child and their first Mother's Day without their child. They were an absolute wreck. One was downtown just drunk out of her mind. The other shut herself away. It is a terrible day for them. I can understand somewhat. I didn't lose a child. Why your coworker would not want to be there. However, as you stated, others can swap their days. I am a mother and I worked all day on Mother's Day. I simply celebrated on another day. Your relationship with your mother is irrelevant. Your day off is your day off. Can Linda take the day off unpaid? Not the asshole and report the county workers for harassment. It is your day off. What you are using it for is none of their business. If someone has a problem, then can give up their day. Keep it and good luck with your finals.